I'm Dr. Archer Crosley. Welcome to Real World Pediatrics. So today I wanted to talk about aluminum and vaccines. Okay, one of the complaints that anti-vaxxers use is that vaccines have aluminum in them. And this is true. Aluminum, which is the third most element in the Earth's crust after silicon and oxygen, is used as an adjuvant in vaccines. They increase the immune response and make the vaccine better. The word adjuvant means to help. Its Latin derivation is the word adjuvare. The Spanish know this word as ayudar. The French know it as aider. In French, the phrase help me is m'aider. And this is where we get the term Mayday that pilots use when they want help. Not surprisingly, the English word aid is close to the French word aider, to aid, and that is because English, when you get down to it, thanks to the Norman conquest of England, is in essence poorly spoken French. Okay, let's get back to vaccines. According to some vaccine opponents, aluminum makes the immune system go wild in order to produce all sorts of autoantibodies that can then attack normal tissue, thus producing conditions like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, joint pain, thinking disorders, autism, and such. Now, according to the gurus, professors, this is not the case. They state that aluminum only stimulates the excitement of the immune system in a very specific manner. In addition to that, the amount of aluminum in a vaccine is far less than the normal daily intake of aluminum in a normal diet. The amount of aluminum in a vaccine on average is less than 0.5 milligrams per vaccine. The normal intake of aluminum for an infant in the first 6 months of life is about 7 milligrams for breastfed infants, 38 milligrams for formula-fed infants, and 117 milligrams for soy-fed infant formula. So you can see that the amount of aluminum that the body receives is fairly small when compared to one's diet. Okay, so how does aluminum work? Aluminum binds the vaccine antigen, that's the part that belongs to the virus or bacteria, into a little bundle and presents this bundle to the immune cells of the body so as to produce antibodies and an immune response. Now, the immune response is specific for that particular antigen or that piece of protein. There is no evidence that the aluminum produces an immune response in a general sense. If this were the case, we would be in trouble because aluminum is always floating around our bloodstream. Now, I'm going to put up on the screen there the approximate aluminum content in many vaccines. Now, aluminum has been used for a long time now, over 80 years. Okay, does aluminum cause autism? Well, so far the gurus, the professors, say no. Now, with that stated, there are some studies which demonstrate that autistic children have a greater concentration of aluminum in their brain cells than do regular people. Now, the professors do not think that this signifies causality. Their thinking is that the abnormal brain structure of the autistic child loans itself to greater aluminum accumulation. According to this theory, the developing brain of an autistic child in utero has been impacted by another toxin, which has led to abnormal neurodevelopment and the accumulation of aluminum. Now, to me, this makes more sense than aluminum from vaccines being the culprit for the reason I have already stated, that being that the amount of aluminum is small in comparison to what we normally ingest. Now, just as an aside, because you may be curious, the aluminum from a Coke can does not leach out to produce increased aluminum in your body. And this is because all aluminum cans are lined with a thin plastic layer, which protects from exactly that happening. Okay, with that stated, let's look at another fact. In the 1950s, the average aluminum intake in the U.S. was estimated to be about 7 to 9 milligrams per day. Now, today, estimates for the daily dietary aluminum intake range from 2 to 14 milligrams per day. Now, this suggests a slight increase in the average intake, but the difference is pretty small. Okay, so what's the take-home message here? Well, as far as I'm concerned, vaccines are safe with regard to aluminum. Thank you.